So I was thinking of something I could do for a video, and then a certain someone named Bree texted me, and we were talking, and well, I thought, why don't I just freaking like tell a story or something? And so that's what I'm gonna do. Now I was like, well, I don't really have any stories I could tell, but I don't know if Bree's heard this one, if she's even watching this right now, but one time, or no, I now have like a massive fear of ziplines. I mean, those things, dude, they're unstoppable. You get on one, there's no turning back. So I kind of hate them, and here is a story of why I do. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram or anything, then you probably already know the story. But yeah, I know I'm sucking right now. Don't even say a word about it. Anyway, this is last summer, not this summer, last summer. I was just got out of 5th grade, and I was camping up at my brother's friend's cabin, and I then became friends with my brother's friend's brother. I don't know if that sounds confusing or anything. It did kind of to me, but anyway, we became friends, and they had a huge zip line in their back, and I was like, no freaking way, let me ride that thing right now. And he's like, no man, it's super boring, I don't want to do it, man. Should have listened to him. This is what ruined my summer. Not completely ruined it, but really made it suck for a lot of it. I got on the zip line, and my friend, this is the first time I'd ever been on a zip line, or a manual zip line, I guess I should say. I've been on one in Las Vegas, the one that goes across the area or whatever. Anyway, they control that one, so I got on, and I was like, oh man, this is so dope. I'm gonna ride the crap out of this thing. And so before he could say anything, I got on and took off down the hill on the zip line, and I heard him scream, and notice I've never even seen a zip line or anything. I didn't know what to do on one, and I heard him scream, grab the brakes, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen Divergent, I know there's brakes on these things. And yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind, like, this is Divergent all over again. So I started freaking out, panicking, and trying to grab the zip line, the brake on the zip line, and it was flailing behind me, so I couldn't reach it. And halfway down, now I was going maybe 40 to 50 miles an hour on this thing, and halfway down I blacked out. Because I was just so terrified. I just everything just boom, didn't know, couldn't see anything, hear anything. It was all over. And oh, this is also, I guess you could also say, this is the story of how I broke my ribs. So at the end of the zip line, there's a huge tree, and you usually stop. It's hooked, the other end is hooked to that tree, and you usually, if you are holding the brake, you stop right before that tree, and there's a ledge, there's like this balcony thing hooked to a different tree in front of it. So it's like, oh god, I don't know how to say this. There's like a 5-foot gap in between this tree that it's hooked to and this balcony. And because I wasn't holding the brakes, that balcony it didn't mean anything to me. I just so I hit the tree going at like maybe 40-50 miles an hour, somewhere between that, and collapsed and fell 10 feet to the floor and just smashed into the floor and instantly stood up, and I couldn't breathe. I was going just constantly breathing in, but couldn't breathe out. It was like my ribs were caving in to my my ribs were caving into my chest. Like I couldn't. I don't know. It was terrible. I thought I was gonna die. We were up camping. There was no hospital or anything nearby. So yeah, that was pretty intense. But my friend was like, "Should I go get your parents?" And I was like, "What do you think? I need medical attention. I just... were you here for this? Did you watch what happened? Are you okay? Are you insane? Just, come on. You don't... If you see your friend smash into... If you see your friend going down a zipline at 40, 50 miles an hour, let's just say 45 miles an hour, smash into a tree, fall 10 feet, and stand up and can't breathe out, then you should probably get his parents. There's no question there. So yeah, he went and got my parents, and they rushed down the hill, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What do you think?" And they took me into this little camper we have, little trailer thing, and there's no... okay, you need to understand that there's nothing you can do if you have broken ribs. Absolutely nothing. You can't put a cast on... You can't put a cast on your ribs. They can't... maybe they can give you painkillers, but I don't know. Sure, why not? But there's nothing they can do to... They just have to... All you can do is, if you go to a hospital for broken ribs, is they can tell you if it's broken or not. Maybe they're just bruised ribs. That sounds weird, but it's a thing, yeah. They can just tell you that. So I was up camping with, and we did, and they were broken, so. But yeah, that that happened, and it was so bad. I now never will ride a zipline again, ever. I just can't, I can't, it's like, well, no. Anyway, what time is it? Wow, 12:13 a.m. What day is it? It's July 3rd, not June. What? 4th of July is tomorrow. What am I talking? Okay, yeah. So, Bree, I hope this story helps you with your stomach ache and headache and stuff. Cause you know, this is way easier than sending like 3 paragraphs or just sending this whole story over text message. This is way easier and better. Anyway, yeah. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this. Tell me if I should do more just storytelling videos, because I got a lot of those and I'm making more of those every day. Not every day, probably every month. Yeah. What? Bed? Ugh. But it's tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Yeah.